NBA offseason is already full of rumors, but none have hit harder than this one. A recent proposal by Bleacher Report's Andy Bailey has sent shockwaves through the league. The idea? A trade that would send Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the most dominant players in NBA history, to the San Antonio Spurs, teaming him up with Victor Wembanyama to create a frontcourt that could completely shift the balance of power in the NBA. Even though Giannis hasn't officially requested a trade, the buzz around Milwaukee is growing louder. The Bucks are dealing with an aging roster, a major injury to Damian Lillard that will keep him out of the 2025-26 season, and the exit of Chris Middleton, who was once part of their championship trio. Brook Lopez is also nearing the end of his career. These signs have made analysts and fans wonder whether Milwaukee should begin planning for life after Giannis. And if they do, the Spurs might be the best team positioned to strike. Let's take a look at the trade that's been proposed. According to Bleacher Report, the San Antonio Spurs would receive Giannis Antetokounmpo. In return, the Milwaukee Bucks would get a massive package that includes young talent and long-term draft assets. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Stephon Castle, the 2027 first-round pick from Atlanta, a 2029 first-round pick from San Antonio, a 2031 pick swap with Sacramento, a 2032 pick swap with San Antonio, and 3 second-round picks. This kind of deal doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's the result of years of preparation by the Spurs. They've built up young players, kept their cap space clean, and now have Victor Wembanyama, who is already becoming one of the best defenders in the league. Putting Giannis next to him would create a front court that has never been seen before. Two 7-footers who can guard every position, run the floor like wings, and impact the game on both ends without needing to dominate the ball. The pairing of Giannis and Wemby would immediately make the Spurs one of the most dangerous teams in the Western Conference. Wembanyama is coming off a Rookie of the Year season and is expected to make an even bigger leap this year. Giannis, still in his prime, is averaging over 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. Their games fit together perfectly. Giannis brings relentless pressure with his drives and transition play, while Wemby offers outside shooting, rim protection, and elite help defense. What makes this even more exciting is that the Spurs wouldn't need to give up their entire core. In this trade idea, Jeremy Sochan, Malachy Branham, and other important pieces could stay. With the depth they've developed, San Antonio could still field a strong rotation even after giving up 3 solid players. Now, from Milwaukee's perspective, this isn't just about giving up Giannis for the sake of change. It's about avoiding the risk of losing him for nothing in 2026. Giannis has not signed a new extension and has kept things quiet about his long-term future. If he chooses not to commit, the Bucks could be left in a rebuild with no centerpiece and no assets. In this proposal, they don't just get picks. They get Devin Vassell, who just averaged 18 points per game with strong defense. They get Keldon Johnson, who has shown he can be a leading scorer when needed. Most importantly, they get Stephon Castle, the reigning Rookie of the Year, who is expected to become a top-tier guard in the next few seasons. With 3 solid players and a collection of picks, Milwaukee would have a realistic path to rebuild quickly. The truth is, trades like this only happen when timing, talent, and team needs all line up, and right now, the timing feels very real. San Antonio is ready to win, and Milwaukee might be facing the start of a major transition. If both sides are honest about where they are, this deal could be the kind of rare blockbuster that actually works for everyone involved. The idea of Giannis Antetokounmpo joining the San Antonio Spurs may have started as a bold trade proposal, but the longer you look at it, the more it begins to make actual basketball sense for both teams involved. On the one hand, you have the Milwaukee Bucks, who are facing the sobering reality that their championship window might be officially closed. On the other hand, you have a Spurs team sitting on a stockpile of young talent, draft capital, and the single most exciting young player in the NBA, Victor Wembanyama. What makes this trade even more interesting is how well it aligns with both teams' timelines and motivations. The Bucks are dealing with major setbacks heading into the 2025-26 season. Damian Lillard, their second biggest star, is out for the year with a torn Achilles. Chris Middleton has already been traded to Washington, and Brook Lopez is now 37 years old and clearly on the decline. Milwaukee is not only aging, they're also out of time to reload around Giannis with elite talent. If they wait until next summer and Giannis declines his $51.9 million player option, they risk losing him in free agency with nothing in return. That's what makes the Bleacher Report proposal so smart from Milwaukee's perspective. By moving Giannis now, they could walk away with a young and athletic core of Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and 2025 Rookie of the Year Stephon Castle. Not to mention they'd add a bundle of first-round picks and swap rights that could define their next decade. Those are the kinds of pieces that help rebuild quickly in today's NBA, especially when you no longer have a superstar at the center of your team. Now, shift the focus to the Spurs. San Antonio has been quietly building something special. Wembanyama just completed his first full season and exceeded every expectation, not only with his defensive dominance, but also with his growing offensive versatility. The only thing missing for the Spurs is another superstar to push the timeline forward, and that's where Giannis comes in. Putting him next to Wemby would give San Antonio the most physically overwhelming frontcourt in league history. Between Giannis's explosive drives and Wembanyama's shot blocking and three-point range, they would cover every inch of the court, offensively and defensively. It's also worth remembering that San Antonio has plenty of remaining flexibility. Even after this potential deal, they would still keep players like Jeremy Sochan, Tre Jones, and potentially Castle if the trade is slightly restructured. This isn't about going all in and leaving the cupboards empty. It's about pushing the timeline ahead by pairing Wemby with a Hall of Fame level partner while keeping the foundation of the team intact. Another big reason this works: the NBA salary cap is set to rise significantly over the next 2 years. That means locking in two superstars now could become a bargain later, giving the Spurs more room to add support pieces and stay under the tax. A Giannis-Wemby duo would not only dominate games, it would attract free agents, boost ticket sales, and put the Spurs back on national television consistently. But what about Giannis himself? Would he even want this move? That's the wild card. He hasn't publicly asked out, but he has spoken about his desire to win above everything else. If the Bucks cannot provide that path, and if the Spurs present a clear, focused future, Giannis may be more open to this idea than people realize. He's known for loyalty, but loyalty has its limits, especially when a player enters his 30s and realizes time is running out for another title. For Milwaukee fans, losing Giannis would hurt, no question about it. He is the most important player in franchise history, and his 2021 title run will never be forgotten. But smart organizations know when to move, and if they wait too long, the price could be steep. This trade might not happen tomorrow, but it's a sign that the league is watching Milwaukee closely. If Giannis shows even the smallest hesitation about signing a long-term extension next summer, expect the phones to start ringing fast. As for San Antonio, this might be the boldest move they've made since drafting Kawhi Leonard in 2011. If they pull it off, they would instantly become a favorite in the Western Conference, and maybe even for the NBA title. Pairing two MVP caliber players who complement each other perfectly doesn't happen often, and when it does, dynasties are born. In the end, the question is not just whether this deal will happen, but whether either team can afford not to consider it. The Bucks cannot hold on to the past forever, and the Spurs, with Wemby ready for stardom, cannot afford to wait.